Hi. That's- So, Maiden, Mother, and Crone.
Yes, I love this topic,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to working like in magic as a practicing witch. It's like that is the image. I feel like that's the first image you see when you're like a young person, discovering magic. Would you say?
Yeah, and actually, you know what? River, being a 10, she draws the triple moon all the time. Really, she puts it on everything.
Yes.
So it's definitely symbol. That and that's the full moon with the crescent on it. That's right. That represents the Maiden Mother, though.
Yeah, I remember going into like a metaphysical book store, like in my like early 20s and getting earrings with the
Cool.
I was like, oh, sneaky witch.
That's also sneaky witchy. Couple of data and the pet.
100%.
Definitely not associated, but
Exactly.
when you're starting to understand this one, I think lands as a something that it's deep in our bones as women, the triple goddess. So who it has, even if before we understand it, the egg that made me was in my mother when she was in the womb of my grandmother. Like that is right there. It's like it's blood and bone deep.
100%.
I think there's a knowing or a recognition even before you fully it's really understand it.
And the cycles, right? Yeah, like the cycles of waxing or growing and then fruition and then waning or leaving. And we see that with the moon and I don't even know. It took a while to correlate that, the moon phases with this maiden mother crone energy. When you see the moon as the mother, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, grandmother, yeah, yeah. She's also in that dark void moon space, and then that you crescent, and then you beginning, and then you have, yeah,
Yeah,
you have cycles within cycles within cycles.
exactly. I love. And it's so important to honor those cycles and to be able to gather, call them when you need them.
Mm.
And we were talking about that before we started reporting. And it's like when you're young, you can call forward, and we like you do this work and I do this work of the timeline and like calling your future self and calling your past self or your future self giving advice to you now and vice versa, you giving advice to your past self. And that maiden mother crone is very much that energy. And absolutely. It's like when you're maiden, you can be your own mother, call to that mother energy for you, or the grandmother energy, or the wisdom that you need in a moment to make the decisions. And when we are in our crone energy and we're missing clay and like the inspiration to create, like that fertility, you can call to that, that young version of you that was inspired and open and
Everyone friend in contact with. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's like we have our life cycles where, yes, obviously you see like the maiden years and then you become a mother and are in the mother years and then eventually stop cycling into that kind of prone phase. But we always have all of the archetypes available to us, just like the moon is always whole, right? We are also always full. And then we have our, I mean, I love that there's so much more awareness now. I see it everywhere. It's like feel like the new fad, which is a great one. This awareness of the cycles and people being like, I'm in my luteal, I'm in my follicular. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing that this is becoming common knowledge. Yeah. Like, because I was furious actually in my early 40s to learning it for the first time. Being like, are you kidding me that this was not taught to girls?
they know.
And just like that this wasn't considered important.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel that heat actually rising in my body right now. I was so angry that I was like, what? I'm coming to in like this phase of life to understand how to work with this stuff and understand that we're not crazy for not feeling like we fit into a 24-hour circadian rhythm like men do. And the and there are times not to dormant and there are times to do things. Yeah, there are times to rest, and there's times, babe, use your energy as more focus, and there's time to like. I was anyway, I was so angry. But I love that we're seeing us that shift.
Yeah. I do notice that too. Yeah, people talking about women talking about what phase they're in, certain when they're putting out things that they've created, right? It's like this is for this like rest period or luteal, right? That's for yeah, ovulation, so sexing.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
And then our partners can also understand. It's right. Like, oh, there's a rhythm to this wild connection.
Yeah.
It's great.
1 week a month that we feel sort of good. Just kidding. That's all I get.
That's all I do.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's funny.
Totally funny.
But I love, right, this new generation. If it's, well, we need women in the mother and crone stages to midwife that knowledge into the next generation, though. Like, we need it to be a shift. And I think my favorite guiding principle around parenthood and the maiden mother energy is how we take care of others. How we nurture is how our children will learn to nurture, but how we take care of ourselves is how they will learn to take care of themselves. So really, instead of sitting the kids down and teach, I mean, I will still do this and teaching about the phases stuff, it's really more powerful if our daughters see us and our granddaughters see us modeling it and just living it and honoring it and having the open conversations about it.
You're actually reminding me that it was really taking care of my daughter that gave me permission to take better care of myself during those phases. So, when your daughter's going through like her menstrual cycle, you're like, hey, like they may get you something more, like cozy blanket. You can just watch a movie. You don't have to like, maybe you don't go to school today or you don't have to do sports tonight. You know what I mean? And then we're just like, go to work, get the things, clean the house, like do a workout,
Yeah.
be with friend, like trying to like just stay in the same energy for 28-day cycle. And when you start taking care of your daughters, then you go, wait a second, I need that. So now I'm just like, it's just a no zone. I'm like when I'm in my rest phase, and like to bring it back when I'm like in my dark mood phase, like in my cycle of the year, I rest more. When it's winter and like when it's dark, I rest more to allow myself to have those cycles. It's so important because that's when you connect your wisdom.
It's where the magic is. Exactly. They keep forcing to try to find it, you to let it come from within because it comes from the dark void space.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yeah.
Amazing wisdom.
And I feel like, we are so much so reclaiming that dark moon energy. Because, like, societally and through time, the dark moon was feared. The eclipses were feared because the sun or the moon disappeared, right? It's like something in the dark. If we go into the dark and we remove the light, it must be something bad. It has to be evil. It's like, it's a pause, it's a liminal space to just reset and connect to your inner self and listen to your guides and listen to your ancestors. And, you know, when we stop our menstrual cycle or when our cycle ends and we get to connect to all the wisdom, we don't have to be searching for the light because everything is within us. And then society says, well, that's when you're old and you're not fertile anymore, you're not attractive, and you shouldn't wear this and you shouldn't do that, and all this crazy shit.
Right? Exactly. And then, well, and our programming about right from, I mean, I talk to River about this all the time too when we watch a Disney movie and like old, all of the witches are evil. Wait, what? And River's like, that's not true. Witches aren't really evil. I'm like, exactly. It's been a total like red hair and like, look, fear this, fear the woman in her like elder wise years, and you show them as parasitic to youth. That's right. All it's just so awful. Ooh, right? And jealous because they haven't outlived fully. And of course, I'm sure that there's a version of that that's true. If you, there's another favorite phrase of mine, the guys at parenting is. There's no greater weight on a child than the unlived love parent. Oh, it's my big everyone and take for himself. I'm not sure how that is that and heavy, right? Yeah, like right, like we have the obligation to the coming generations to like actually take care of ourselves and live a full life of expression, and to reclaim ourselves, so that we're not then jealous of youth when it's their time to do the things, right?
I even remember even like baby complimenting like my nana, like, or even my like aunts, now, like when I go home, I'm like, oh, you look so beautiful as I'm getting old, or I have wrinkles, or I'm fat. And I'm like, oh my God, stop talking like that. It's like, just because you're not 25 doesn't mean you're not still just like so beautiful.
Right.
Yeah. And if we didn't think that wrinkles were ugly because of programming that like sells products, we'd be excited to get wrinkles, right? And we'd be like, oh, you get wrinkles when you get older and they're beautiful and they mean that you smiled and they mean that you lived. And you'd be like, oh, I can't wait.
No, my friends knew the beautiful story I just heard, and I hope that our friend Abby, won't mind me from sharing the story. So this is credit to our sweet Abby, that after she had her first child and she had stretch marks, yes, right, and she was hanging out with this other woman and her child, and the little girl saw a little bit of Abby's stretch marks on her belly, and had never seen them before, and was like, "What are these? They're my tiger stripes." I hope, and then Wiley exclaimed, "Well, that's from where my belly stretched so much to hold my son, and then when yeah, they're like little stripes that stay after." And she's like, "I hope I get these when I go through it." She saw them as something so magical and beautiful, like tiger stripes. So that always made just shifted a narrative for, that's right, I'd be like, how healing to have that as that's right, like the wonder of stories that Folly tells. Yeah, right. Like I love that so much.
Me too. I love that. Yeah. So connecting to the crone, no matter where you are in your cycle. And to me, that wisdom is like the most comforting for me is that crone energy, is that ability to connect to the underworld, to connect to the ancestors, to have the knowledge up just there. Like I am in questioning and I know that the message is within me and that within me is, everywhere else. So it's like it's such a beautiful, easy place for me to go. And I would say like the mother energy is probably the harder one because it's responsibility for someone else. It's not just about you. And I mean, it's easy to take care. We all play roles of the mother. Men can play the role, depending on what's going on, but even as aunts and sisters and cousins but there is a deep responsibility to it. And that was probably, and that's generational, like how much is that mother energy easy for you depending on your life,
Yeah.
right? And maiden energy, like, did you get to play? Did you get to be free? Did you into have adventure? Did you get to experience? Or was it, were you able to be in your sexuality, be in your maidenhood without someone trying to take it away from you or like shun it or to push it down? So
Ain't it? That's right. You shut down the expression. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, something that's not good or dangerous. Yeah. Oh man, there's something to reclaim in every full age. It's never too late. We get to reclaim freely expressed name and energy now. Is that correct? And that's beautiful. Yet, and at any life stage we can tap into these. And I do think that, yeah, that mother one, you kind of have to tend your heart outside of your physical body, and there's a lot of sacrifice of your own comfort, yeah, to and then I would say also that's also largely societal too, because we don't live in the extended family networks that would allow another to have more support and rest. With that, now everybody would do everything by themselves and be rock stars and proof it was super moms. Yeah, that bullshit, right? It's very much, it's harder now in that way, I would say, than it probably was in other times.
100%, because you'd be like, where are all the grandmothers? Like grandmothers, the aunts, like again, family,
Yeah.
would be together to help mom.
Yeah.
So you would be excited to transition into motherhood.
Yeah.
Because you then become a part of a team, right?
Yeah.
Which is like a gift. But when we're so detached from family in society, it's like we don't have that opportunity. We don't have big family or sisters or, close to family. It could be, for me, it felt isolating. But I get to embrace that now as Emma has her baby. I can go and I'm going to stay and I get to tend and to do that, mother stuff. It's so fun.
And I do, this is probably, I mean, I don't, I mean, no disrespect to anyone, but I do think when going through the mother does give you a different access to the Crone. Yes, I agree. Like, there is something, whether it's, and it's not, I mean, every situation is different. Some people have like gone through the mother stage in another way without a physical child. We're definitely, yeah, definitely not saying that that it's in every situation, that there's something that's important, whether it's for the physical child or in some other way to like face the lessons of the mother phase. It is necessary. On the path of the soul.
Okay, your mom will really tell you if you're okay with getting older. His kids will say crazy shit to you. Just be like, you're getting a wrinkle or my hair is sagging. And like, um, it's okay.
Yeah. You look well up, mom.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet I got to teach her, you like, you know what? There's nice things to say. And like not that being old. And then I have to look at my hair. I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? Yeah, you're right. I'm getting a wrinkle. That's good. Radiance comes from inside. It's I'm still in I might like still tapping into life force and tending myself. That's okay, right? With that our sense of youthfulness and radiance and aliveness doesn't just if anything, yeah, and like when you see pictures of like youthful women in Mount Oga with all of the wrinkles and the beautiful bright eyes because they lived a full life, there's nothing more beautiful. No. Now, when I picture myself transitioning from this to that, it's definitely it's a whole sure amazing and wonderful road of learning how to let go. I already kicked that jam a little bit down the road for sure. Like I think it's hard, but it is hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely hard. As much as I want to say, like, I mean, it's better than the old proto.
Yeah. I guess I get to work I should know. I guess it being
And then I was like, yes, radiance comes from within. Every cell in my body is still in the game, and yeah, I'm okay with like looking like a 47 now a little bit. 100%, 47. Oh boy, yeah, and that's important to be because yes, our society has said that don't be angry about anything and don't get old. It's like, what the fuck? So we're definitely rewriting that. Age of rage. Now's the time for it. That's for sure.
I'm totally and what but that is I'm keeping that. All right. I think that anger keeps you going. How do you stick with that?
Well, I believe that after you're in the active tending phase, and you become like a matriarch in your crone, which crone means crowned one. You've been crowned with wisdom. I believe that in a well-functioning society, the elder women are like the circle of wisdom piece that people take. They're like the spiritual center that keeps all the rest of shit alive.
100%.
Clearly, that has been disconnected to see what's happening in our world right now. Yeah, because the grandmothers would not allow that. Let's be happen. So right now it is the time where we have to come back into balance as men and women to like who have the spiritual authority and the physical authority working together.
Yes, protect is us a protector of life.
Protect.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's anyway, like you know what we're talking about. So yeah, aging rage, it's definitely a time. Yeah.
And I feel like this has been a really fun conversation because it's like this is actually the magic of the triple goddess is honoring all these pieces of us. Like you are the moon, you are the cycles, you are the magic. I don't have to go looking or creating some kind of extravagant thing. Just being witness to your own life and your own programs and your own stories and yeah, that's how you are, embrace being a witch in like the real world.
Yeah. Well, I love that. Yeah, you too. Just had this about for that and you're beautiful. So we keep growing in wisdom and beauty.
Into age of rage.
And age and man.